Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, the cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milk-shaped wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski,
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
and we took some time off. Scheduling conflicts. North Pole, got to deliver presents, all that stuff.
Oh, you're fucking Jolly Saint Nick now, huh?
But we're back, and we got Christmas sale.
Yeah.
Out of town Christmas sale.
Yeah, one of the best, really. One of the ones that, that seems to always deliver in cans this year. Maybe it was in cans last year. This is my first time seeing it in cans.
Yeah, I'm used to the bottles.
Yeah, same. This is Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
It just says ale with spices, where Fistmas is basically a red ale with maybe some spices.
Ginger and some other shit.
So this is a little more, I don't want to say spicy, but a little more holidayed than Fistmas.
Yeah, stay fresh and see the bottom enjoyed by date.
Okay.
Really nice can by the good folks. I mean, is it better than the bottle, though? This can?
Bottles were classic.
I love the bottle. I feel like there's more.
The cans feel a little, I don't know, Hallmarky Christmas card.
I feel like there were more jingle bells on the can, on the bottle.
Jingle bells? Not like this. This is just a thing of ornaments, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fine beer. I'm glad it only comes out once a year because I don't need to have it.
Spice beers in general, right? Like,
yeah.
You don't need a ton of ginger in a beer or a ton of baking spices in your beer. You don't need that.
No.
I mean, it's cool.
Right.
Today, seasonally.
But I think Fistmas could be all year, and I wouldn't be upset about that.
Because I think that's like a red ale base, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got to chill with the fist and everything, though, man. They got to chill. I mean, I love Revolution, but they got to chill with all the letters on the barrel aged stuff.
Okay.
And with the fist and everything.
Okay.
They got to chill.
Speaking of Revolution, we have a lot to cover here. And one of our things we're going to talk about is FoBAB here.
Yes.
And we had the most nerdy conversation at FoBAB.
FoBAB was so fun, by the way. I had a fucking blast, man.
Yeah, it was a good time, a great time. We were like, feeling good when we were talking.
Oh, yeah, we were three sheets
you wanna
to the wind.
Give us a lowdown of this conversation.
What? I'm trying to recall. What are you talking about right now?
We're talking to Marty about barrels.
Yeah, Marty. So Jack, shout out to Jacko, Chris Jacobson, Hardcore Craft Beer. He's like, we're telling people what to drink, and people are telling us what to drink. He's like, you got to try this thing from Marty upstairs. It's like a riff on 867-5309.
Yeah.
The song.
The Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny. So we go up there, and then Marty's there. We're drinking a beer, and then I'm partially fanboying because I'm like, I think he plays an important role in them having the premier barrel program in the city and them kind of being like a true alternate to what Goose is doing, right? And so, I mean, like, we're very fortunate to have
Nick
Mr.
is
Cruz.
gushing.
I'm going through it. Yeah, because I think it's important. I think he's an important figure in local barrel-aged beer.
But then he is telling two people that have been drinking, barrel-aged beers for the last 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like a little too much detail about like the chemical compounds that go into everything, which most of it went overhead. Some of it was very interesting, him talking about how the kinds of barrels you use, especially if you're getting old barrels, you're just getting them for the bourbon in them and the name to have them. So Revolution had, they had that Whistle Pig one, and Goose Island does a lot of stuff with barrels. You're only doing that a lot of time for marketing, right?
Yeah, I think in Rev's case, the Whistle Pig, they ended up doing like a single barrel. I think it was a Whistle Pig aged in like VSOJ barrels, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a cross promotion kind of thing. But yeah, I think overall the takeaway was like, the barrels that are going to work the hardest for you are the barrels that have had a whiskey for like in the 4 to 6 year range, and those aren't really sexy barrels.
Right, but he's like, I want the barrels that the whiskey's going in, not the barrels after the whiskey's been in them. He's like, I want fresh barrels. I want the flavors from the wood that the bourbon's getting.
Yeah.
I don't want the bourbon flavor.
Yeah. By the time you get to 7 to 10 year, like think about the very first Bourbon County rare. It was like Pappy Van Winkle 23 year.
Mm-hmm.
The second rare was a 35 year barrel that they lost at Heaven Hill. This King of Kentucky that they released, the rare this year, the third rare, that's a King of Kentucky's like a 16 to 18 year product. So you get this barrel. It had whiskey in it for 18 years. And I think the argument is that barrel was cool for what that bourbon's going to be.
But it worked.
It
did it. It's been on the corner doing its thing long enough. It's time that barrel, it's done.
Yeah.
It didn't, putting the Bourbon County in it, you're just getting that bourbon taste that's in there. You're not getting barrel.
That's fair. Yeah, I think you remember this conversation a little bit more than me. But yeah, that sounds about right. Like you'll get bourbon flavor, but you won't get the complexities that are in the bourbon because the bourbon's going to get a lot of barrel.
Right.
And spirit flavors, but you're getting more bourbon and not necessarily everything the bourbon got.
Yeah. So he just talked a lot about using fresh barrels and looking for other sources of that. He was he was on sabbatical.
Yeah, he went on a sabbatical, and I think he spent time at a winery.
Okay.
So then these French oak barrels, and apparently the wine folks don't really give up their barrels. It's not like whiskey by law, bourbon by law, you have to use a barrel once.
Right.
So it's going to other things, beer, hot sauce, scotch, whatever the fuck. Honey, fireplace, honey. It's going everywhere. Wine barrels get used way more than that. They get used way more than one time. So a lot of wine producers do not give up their barrels. So he's got this, I think he was talking about, I forget the official name for it, but it's basically like a chain made out of wine barrels. It looks like a chain, like an actual link chain,
okay.
But it's made out of wine barrel wood. And then you place that in a bourbon barrel, and it does a really good job of creating like these French oak flavors.
Right, without having to use the barrel.
Without the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which is like something a lot of homebrewers do, like wood chips, right?
He's kind of he's kind of taking that, riffing on that, right? Because that is a thing, right? Mm-hmm. Wood chips. The Journeyman guys, or maybe when we made our beer up at I always forget where we made our beer, but tiny barrels. Will age bourbon faster. He said that's what the Journeyman distillery guys do.
Okay.
They get the tiny barrels. They don't get the full 33-gallon barrel. They get like a tiny 9-gallon barrel, and your bourbon's gonna age. Your bourbon's gonna taste like it's been aging longer because there's less surface area, so the flavors are gonna concentrate quicker.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's just fun little tricks, So.
But this one, he was drinking too, and I'm surprised he's remembering all this stuff. He's deep in this, right?
I'm like, this guy is all in. This guy's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can riff on this stuff and with great detail.
Give chemical compounds
under any condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very passionate about it. I think we should get Marty on the show.
Right.
Yeah. I think we did talk about that a little bit. It was fun running into him. I think that beer was one of the better beers I had that night.
That was great, but I don't know that my favorite. Did you take a picture of it?
It was La Crosse, Wisconsin. So 608.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a blueberry.
Like a blueberry crumble.
Yeah.
Blueberry crumble.
Coconut blueberry crumble.
It was it was listed at 5%. So Brad's like, you gotta try this beer. Now this beer's got a really cool kind of bright blueberry note to it, and it's got a little bit of this syrup flavor, and there's a little bit of barrel and beer, and it all works together.
Yeah.
I'm like, they are really doing some cool stuff here at 5%, because there's no way this beer should be this good at 5%.
And then we found out the brewers or the owners were standing right there, and we asked them, and they're like, no, it's like
double that.
Yeah,
They
it's like
just got the
11 or
label.
12.
They got the label
right.
off.
So I think they scribbled it out and corrected it. But this was still one of my favorite beers, and I was telling everyone about it.
Yeah.
People were offering, poo-pooing my picks, right? Which they tend to do. They don't believe me. The people don't believe me. And then they try it, like, damn it, he was right.
Like, I mean, as much as I like Brad, I don't always want to agree with him. But I drink this beer, and I'm like, you know what? This beer's pretty good, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's good, it's good. You know what you gonna do?
Right.
You know?
And it was memorable. Like, that's, as we were going through FoBAB that day, we're often looking for beers that, one, you want them to taste good, and then you gotta remember them, right?
Yeah.
Because if you drink 3, I don't know, barrel-aged, like, strong ales, and you're like, okay, but that didn't do any, like, I don't remember. I remember the one that had coconut in it. Oh, okay.
That's true. Yeah, I had there's a crew from North Carolina, Resident Culture. I had them on my fantasy FoBAB team, and they had like a big vanilla coconut cookie thing, and I just remember it being like really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, standing out is kind of interesting. It's funny you say that because the first beer we had, I don't know if you grabbed it, but Orin was the first beer we saw.
Oh, yeah, I think you did. I didn't.
I was like, hey, let's pause and grab Orin because, Half Acre's right here. And we were going to go right into the Lager Lounge. So we grabbed Orin, and Orin ended up being best in show.
That's crazy.
So good for them, My love for Half Acre knows no boundaries,
Beer side. Not only on the beer side. Yeah, I didn't try Orin because I feel like I had Orin so many times over the years. I was like, I just didn't need to get
Yeah,
this.
it comes out every year. It's a strong ale. It's a brandy and bourbon barrel-aged strong ale. It's a cool offering. I think it sits somewhere between, I would say, Big Hugs and Benthic, maybe. Some people might prefer Big Hugs over Orin, because, well, we all drink coffee.
Yeah.
And then Big Hugs has...
Which that should be out right now,
Well,
right?
and there was some rumblings last year that they might not make it anymore. Like, they don't know if Big Hugs has a place in today's landscape for beer.
Yeah.
Because this is like a straight up no frills coffee stout. There is a barrel aged version, but there was talk from the dark matter side that they might not make Big Hugs this year. But I mean, Orin, I say if I was doing a power ranking over there, I mean, you for dark stuff.
Okay.
You would clearly put, I think, Benthic probably first.
Sure.
But then I think Orin and Big Hugs are interchangeable. Well, now Orin would have the clear edge. So, or you go Benthic, Orin, and Big Hugs would be the order over there for their dark stuff. And then whatever all their one-off stuff is every year, because they do one-offs like nobody's business. Like they released a beer with down in St. Louis. They released a beer with Side Project this week.
Oh, that's right.
They're just constantly doing this like one and done kind of stuff.
That's cool.
So, but
Uh-huh. Any other standouts from FoBAB? I know there was barrels of homeless barrels, unhoused people, unhoused.
What the
wood
fuck are we
barrels.
talking about, Brad? Are you talking about outside?
Yeah, outside. There was unhoused warming stations.
It's the type they use barrels to have the warming stations, but it's like the type of warming stations that unhoused people use.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, we're gonna smell like fucking barbecue when we go
But
back
it
in
was
here.
real toasty.
It was very toasty, and yeah, it looked really cool too.
And then Goose was outside, and they were not pouring anything that fun.
Goose did not like us that day, and I mean us, mean all the people that went to FoBAB. Goose did not give a fuck that we were there for the Black Friday stuff. They were pouring a bunch of stuff that they had. I think, Romy and Elephant. Was it Romy and Elephant? Something with an elephant in it.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Kaleidoscope, a collab with fucking...
I don't like that class soap.
There's a bunch of shit that we were like, just give us what we want. You got this big dumbass train out here. We came out here for the Black Friday stuff.
Right. Give me vanilla.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So then I was just like, whatever. We tried a bunch of stuff and took a bunch of picks. Cherry VSOJ was there. That was fun. You weren't all in on the Floyd's 20th anniversary, which I think is a combination of chemtrail mix and vanilla hangy.
Yeah, there was something I didn't like the taste of. I don't remember why. I was
Yeah,
just like, I don't know.
chemtrail mix has a very it could have, it's got that, they call it pink peppercorns, but pink peppercorn is really a fruit, but it comes off like not cinnamon toast crunch, but like it comes off like one of those kind of cereals.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
so wasn't a fan of that. I know I had that small beer that won that category called small.
that's funny. Should we go through? Should we rip the
Yeah,
categories?
let's
real
go down
quick?
the winners and
All right, cool. We'll start with we'll start with blended beer. Let's see. Damn, this thing's moving so fast. Slow down. Okay, there we go. We're gonna start with other pale beer because Bubble House took the gold in that category.
okay.
So cheers to them, man.
I didn't try that.
Me either. That escalated swiftly was the name of that beer. So in other pale category, other pale is a crazy name for a category, by the way.
Yeah.
Bubble House took the gold, followed by Forbidden Rune and Sketchbook.
Okay.
Sketchbook was a triple G. That's the Belgian style triple.
Okay.
Yeah. So then there's a lager category, Elmhurst Brewing,
Oh, nice. Okay.
followed by Cross Strain and Solemn Oath. Solemn Oath for a food face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Which I'm still. Isn't that a Hidden Hands beer?
I'm confused because I drafted Hidden Hands thinking that I would get stuff like food face. And no,
Which one is the oval?
that's Hidden Hands.
That's Hidden Hands.
Yeah. It's very confusing on who is and is not Hidden Hands.
Okay.
It really is. Because I think their definition was Hidden Hands will be the stuff that we can send straight to distro and is hoppy. And
Yeah. I did try Food or Face. It's fine. Well,
Um,
it was, I guess, very good. It won third.
other dark beer, Orin, Loose Ends, and Sun King. I don't know who Loose Ends Brewing is, do you?
Okay. Next.
Fruit beer, Revolution, Sun King, and Cruz Blanca.
Oh,
Yeah, so Cherry VSOJ took the gold for fruit beer.
that's second for Cruz Blanca then, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Specialty and experimental beer, Black Horizon, G5 Brewing, and Cruz Blanca again.
Jeez.
Cruz Blanca in bronze for Tepache Cowboy. G5 Brewing, you ever heard of them?
No.
Yeah, same. Let's see. Wild Brett Beer, Off Color, followed by Benchtop and Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, funky beer for tacos. Beer for tacos is nice. I haven't had funky beer for tacos yet. I think beer for tacos is a goza with salt and lime. That's
Yeah.
Regular beer for tacos.
I don't really want a funky taco.
Yeah, what's funky beer for tacos?
It sounds like you messed up.
And then we just call it funky
Yeah.
because it was something we fucked something up. Let's see. Wild beer, mixed culture, acidic. Malou fermentation. That came in first. Ike and Oak came in second, and followed by Imperial Oak.
Okay.
Malou Fermentation Company. Anything?
No.
No.
I actually forgot about Ike and Oak, too.
Yeah, same. Wild beer, mixed culture, acidic plus fruit. Priaz Brewing Company took the gold.
Okay.
Who are these people? Followed by Firestone Walker and Lupin Brewing Company.
Okay.
Let's see. Then there's Cider Perry and Mead. That was
Which we
Misbehaving.
did have, even though I poo-pooed it, I think, on the last episode, that I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah,
but-
I think we got tipped off that we should try a specific.
Yeah, we were talking to
Out of
someone
state.
that was a judge and kind of was like, out-of-state person probably won this. And there was only like 6.
Yeah.
But I remember FoBABs in the past, there was a lot more Perrys and Meads, right?
Yeah, there was Tin City won Best in Show during the pandemic year.
But this is the smallest, I guess, showing of it that I've seen. Like, one year it was an entire room.
That's true. When it was at the probably like half a mile from where we were.
Right, at the pavilion.
Yeah.
And now it's 6. That
Right.
seems like it kind of shows where cider is in the lineup of stuff. Like, I don't really care about it at this point.
Yeah. Misbehaving took I think that's Valparaiso, Indiana. They took the gold and the silver, followed by right beside her.
Right. That was the one that won. I forgot what was the name of it. To say, it was good. I had that. That was the one I
Oh,
had.
Clint's apple pie.
Yeah, it was good. Tastes like apple pie.
Well, it is what they say it is. So, like we said earlier, best in show was Orin from Half Acre. Orin is a strong ale.
Okay,
Um,
and that's by the people, right?
no,
No? Oh.
that's actual judge's best in show. What's weird about maybe I missed it. Oh, runner up was Black Horizon, by the way, for
Okay.
specialty.
And isn't there a people's?
There was a people's beer.
What was the people's
I
beer?
don't. It's not on the winners list.
Oh, that's
That's really annoying. There was a new this year was a fan favorite vote.
yeah.
You could you could vote on Saturday on what you thought the favorite was. Brad and I went on Friday, so we don't know what happened Saturday. So, but I'm looking at the list and I don't really see, like where.
Friday was very chill,
Yeah.
right? Like it wasn't very crowded, which I don't know what Saturday looked like. You could get around. There wasn't a line for anything, and the only line was in the Lager Lounge, really.
Lager Lounge is very cool, so cheers to the folks that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just side note, you got to go back to 2018. So Bottle Logic won Best in Show in 2018 and 2019. And 2019 was Arcane Rituals. That's their barley wine.
Okay.
But the last time a Barrel Aged Stout won this festival was 2018. Fundamental Observation from Bottle Logic, which is an American Imperial Stout. So 2018, this is 2024. All right, so you got to go back 6 years. A stout hasn't won Best in Show at FoBAB in 6 years. A cider has won. So it speaks to like what people's tastes are. You know?
But the people who are judging are people who have been judges for decades. Like
Oh, so you're saying the judges are bored.
maybe the judges are bored. It's not so
Okay.
much even like the people's taste.
Not the people like the attendees, no.
Right.
Just the
So
people judging.
the judges might be like, we know, we know Steve Hadberg has talked about like, Goose Island, Bourbon County can't win anymore because everyone knows what it tastes like.
They don't change it.
So, but as a judge, you know how good that's like your base in your mind, right? You've had that for so long. So as you try other stouts, maybe at FoBAB, you're like, well, Bourbon County's right here. Is that as good as Bourbon County? And we're not giving it to Bourbon County. And so then you're like, oh, well, this strong ale actually like is doing something different that's not just trying to be a Bourbon County like beer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious to know how they arrive at these,
The
'cause-
behind the scenes of the judges.
Yeah, you're going on. I like we'd have to go dig into the data a little bit more, but I mean, this is as long as I can remember. This is the longest streak where a stout hasn't won, Best in Show. So I think, but to be fair, when you drink all these beers, a lot of stouts run together.
Yeah, but then the best in the show, so it's just the gold winners
From every category.
of each category. So then
Yeah.
the stout only has one shot in
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So if that cider or the mead is doing something better than everybody else in here, I don't know, right? It's a weird. It's not best in show. It's who's the best of the winners.
Right. You got to eliminate some. How else do you eliminate, I don't know, 500 beers? You got to eliminate them somehow. So, yeah, only Best in Show gets to, only best in each category. Only gold in each category gets to participate in Best in Show.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's really a small category that, I don't know, does it showcase the winner? But it'd be weird if a best in show wasn't a gold winner, right? Like, why didn't it get gold?
Yeah. Like how you win Best in Show and you didn't win gold in your category.
Right.
You got to advance. You got to advance out of your round.
guess so.
Yeah. So the concept is fair. It's a fair.
Went to the loser bracket and you wrote it back up.
Yeah. There'll be no Cinderella stories at FoBAB.
No, my coconut blueberry isn't gonna come up from behind.
It could win the People's Choice. Why isn't I know I'm not overlooking it because I found all this other stuff. The People's Choice is not on the website.
But then I think you need a People's Choice versus Best in Show.
I think People's Choice should be one of the ones you consider for Best in Show. Fan favorites, they're calling it. But where is it? I don't see it.
Right, but you'd have to get the fan favorite, then go back.
Because the people who voted did not wait until Saturday.
Right,
All
happened
the
Friday.
Yeah. So.
Or it happened Friday morning.
Yeah, it happened before doors open.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anyway, okay, so that was FoBAB. Anything else before we shut that door till next year?
No, FoBAB was a good hang, man. So cheers to everybody we saw, and cheers to everybody that throws that party on, because it's still a 20-some plus years later, it's still a very good hang.
Yeah.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah, most of the time. I hit up a couple stops. One was Monochrome.
Right on. Pilsen, hello.
I don't remember the space looking like that when it was the previous place.
Yeah, it was, low res.
Low res.
It was low res.
I thought the space was bigger.
It's the exact same layout.
It is. I thought it was bigger.
It's just different colors, but it's just the exact same layout. I mean, as far as like...
The lack of colors makes it look small.
That's funny. Yeah. So
beers were good. We just got like 3 samples. We were like on our way to Chinatown for dinner. And then
I think the rumor is that this is the guy, Whiskey Hill's brother. The brewmaster at Whiskey Hill, who was the guy who did Prop 2019. That's his brother.
Okay.
The Monochrome guy.
I think we were there on a Friday night. It was busy. So the fact that it was busy, what the fuck was Low Res doing?
Well, when you go to Monochrome, though, they make it a point to have a ton of their friends on draft. There's a lot of guest drafts at Monochrome. Okay. And I don't know if Low Res was doing the same thing. But I've only been on Low Res like once.
Right.
So
I can't go back.
It was one and done.
Yeah.
You know. But I think the folks who bought Low Res are folks who like actually live over there.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that Low Res didn't, but I'm saying like when the people who bought it, they were like, yo, we actually live here. You should come fuck with us because we live here and we're going to have food from people who sell food around here. And, you know, we're going to make beer. We're going to have all our friends who think we're cooler here. I think they were making it a point to say, hey, we are kind of doing stuff that people who live around here might like, so you should come out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Low Res was necessarily doing that because I don't know where the Low Res guys were from. I'm just saying, like, if you compare the two in the same space, I think that's probably one of the differences.
Okay.
You know?
There's just something about, I like the beer. I find the space weird. Like, it's not like...
Why is it weird, Brad?
It's like it's not finished. In not... in, like, not a... We're empirical kind of, like, hang out in your garage. Kind of like, we got the stuff, but we just don't have all the stuff yet. Funny, like, there's something...
This is ridiculous. Okay.
It's like not inviting.
Okay.
Maybe that's the better word.
I can get it with that.
It's just not it was busy and people were hanging out there, but I didn't feel comfortable hanging out there. And maybe it's the like super high ceilings that just feel like weirdly industrial without being like bow truss ceiling kind of homey.
Industrial as fuck. When you go to a Lulu, right, which is like walking distance from there.
Yeah.
It's a restaurant, and then they got a little event space upstairs. It feels like, I feel like I'm at a weird restaurant in like, you know, Brooklyn somewhere.
Sure, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny, but it's kind of cool. You know, I kind of like being there, you know. So if you compare it to something like that, then I get what you're saying. But I've been to other stuff in Pilsen, like namely like, well, you know, Beer Spectacular used to be in Pilsen.
Yeah.
At the lofts, Lacuna Lofts over there. But then also, you know, just not even beer related. There's a place called the Living Room Lounge.
Okay.
And it was just like a live music venue, but it felt a lot like the stuff you're describing with
monochrome.
with monochrome.
Okay.
It just feels like a warehouse where people just decided like this is where we're gonna go.
Okay.
That's how it felt.
So that's a thing over there,
You know.
and me not visiting a lot of places there is just like, what's happening here?
Yeah. So I get it when you say it. I'm like, I kind of get what you're saying because I've been to spots that feel just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why it feels like this, but I guess this is what we're doing. You know, the Penny Whistle Tavern in Pilsen kind of feels like that
Okay.
too. It's just a bar that does a lot of events and shit, but it's very it's just very bare. The whole thing is like very bare bones kind of scene.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that. It was just like an interesting take on it. And the beer was very solid. I could see myself going back if I'm out that way, but I'm not like, it's not a destination for me.
Yeah, because Pilsen did have Lamourisang was in Pilsen, and then a Lulu and Low Res. But now it's just a Lulu and monochrome.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are you doing
Yeah.
when you? I mean, neighboring Bridgeport's right there. You can go to Mars,
Right. And then you got Chinatown, which, not breweries.
but you know you can get your dumpling fix.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going to Chinatown for some dumplings.
Yeah. That's what we were doing. So we were early.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, let's stop in.
You went to the key. What is it? The place that collabed with
Yeah.
Off Color. That place.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Had that beer too. That beer's great.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
I want some proper dumplings.
That place is real good.
Okay, good to know.
QXY.
Yeah, that place.
And then I also went out to Workforce.
Right on. So,
Bolingbrook?
no,
Plainfield,
Illinois.
Yeah.
Hello,
Busy as fuck.
dude. They're like low key, like one of the most awarded breweries in the entire region.
We
lately.
accidentally went on the day they were doing their barrel age bottle release.
Something about a bear, Papa Bear, Sleepy Bear, something like that.
Right. People had bottles on the table. People were buying this stuff. I knew nothing about this. And there was a band setting up to play.
I mean, who doesn't love a band?
It was so busy. People are like waiting against the walls for tables for people to like get up and leave. Like it was packed. And they have like 6 bartenders working, taking orders and stuff.
Go.
This place, they need to expand.
I mean, yeah. What is this? Workforce Brewing?
Yeah.
I don't remember the history on Workforce, but
Well, our buddy who Hounds 2 Red, or Red Hound 2.
it's a crazy name. Two Hound Red is a crazy name.
Yeah, 2 Hounds.
That's right, because Workforce used. That's right. Now I'm back on track. Workforce used to be a homebrew shop and a brewery, and it grew out of that. And then that spot was somewhere way smaller because obviously it was a homebrew shop, and then they moved into this bigger production facility.
But they could almost have more space if that Saturday was any indication to what they typically do. It was too cold to be outside. They have outside seating, but it's too cold for that shit.
Yeah, husband and wife duo out there. They're doing good work.
Yeah, all the beer is great. I didn't even try any of the stout.
No,
I got some hazies,
let me
got
get the lager.
some lagers.
I mean, that one time I was in St. Louis running with the second shift guys. These dudes, they just drink the lager. When I went to 7 stops, all they did was drink the lager at every stop.
Okay.
So I'm not even mad at somebody that just gets the lager now, because I feel like that's what people who make beer all day. That's all they do.
Right. I was just like,
I'm like, you're not getting the Kolsch or nothing else, just straight lager every
I
stop.
think I got a hazy and a lager. That's kind of what I did, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Throw out a 13% onto this? Where the fuck am I? I'm in Plainfield.
It's gonna take you 90 minutes to get home, bud.
Right. If I'm lucky. But Workforce, I'm glad I made it out there. That's a stop I probably get to every other year.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little away.
Yeah.
Like for me, you gotta go on the other side of the city, and you're down 55 as far, like, sometimes I didn't even know 55 went that far.
I've been there once, and I had no idea where the fuck I was. So, yeah. Yeah, cheers to them, man. I think Brandon and Amanda, they're there. They do good work out there.
So that was my couple stops in the last FoBAB time. What about you?
Man, what have I done, Brad? Man, I don't.
What are you doing with your life?
Man, I don't
Gotta
know.
Close out the year big.
Yeah, no. I need to do something, man. I think I'm gonna go to this Ravinia thing. They're partying with Moors. All of a sudden, Ravinia is closing on this weekend,
Okay.
and Ravinia, well, just the tap room because they're still gonna brew there apparently.
Right. Ravinia is changing their name to Steep
Ravine, which is the name of the IPA, I believe.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, all the promo stuff says they're partying with Moors.
Okay.
So what does that mean? You know, like, is Moors involved in the next iteration of their thing? Like, Moors just seems like a random partner. Unless Moors was brewing there the whole time. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't
that
know.
could be. What if Morris takes over that spice?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, this seems like really peculiar. This combination of Moors and Ravinia. Like, why is Moors all of a sudden partying with Ravinia?
Because in this announcement, Ravinia said they're closing this tap room. They're going to keep brewing there.
Right.
And they'll revisit the concept, the restaurant later. So it was like almost like we're not really shutting it down. We just need to like reset.
Yeah.
What's that reset look like? Is it, oh, you know what? Moore's is coming in here. They're taking it over. We may still brew here a little bit because it's bigger, but they're the tap room and we brew with them.
Yeah, I'm very curious. So, I mean, I'd like to know more. You know, no pun intended, but I'd want to go.
Yeah.
So just to see if anybody's like spilling the beans on what's next, because I like the Ravinia guys, I like the Moore guys, and then much in the way that like you know, Twisted Hippo before it burned down, they there was such a big improvement on what Finch had done to the place.
Yeah.
Finch had basically done. They took the Heinemann Beer Company model and just paint everything yellow and put a big ass fucking bird everywhere, you know. But Twisted Hippo kind of reimagined the space, and I feel like you know, back when it was this Ravinia space, when it was El Syndicate and you know around the bend and Arcade and those guys, I think Ravinia took that space and made it their own, and actually did a really cool job with kind of like reinventing the space. So I would hate to see that go to waste, you know.
Yeah, that would be interesting if the Ravinia guys, who, you know, we know they got some money.
Well, they're from Lake County, so
Right.
it ain't cheap up there.
Decided that,
If you rent, it's cheap up there, but
Right.
they're not renting.
but they have this space. Maybe they're like, you know what? Let's get someone else in here. We'll kind of help
Shit.
like front them or kickstart it kind of thing.
Or be a partner, or be a good steward and / partner, you know.
Because no one was, not to say no one was going to Ravinia, but it's a weird spot, right? Like people are going to Maple Room, and you weren't really going to Ravinia.
You're going to Metro and you're going to Maple Room.
Right, but you weren't getting people going for food because there's nothing else around like Ravinia really to like walk to besides Maplewood. So you just weren't getting people coming over there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sort of like a punk bar like Liars Club.
Oh, over there, like off Fullerton and
Right.
Elston.
I've never been to it. It sounds like an amazing place, but there's also nothing there.
It's very true.
Like, how did anyone get there before Uber?
Yeah, I saw the
How'd you get home from there? You could've
Drew.
got-
Who's that cop that like allegedly buried his wife in a plastic bag? I saw there's a movie about it, and I watched that movie there. Drew Peterson.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? The Ravinia thing, man. You know how Motor Row owns that building, but Junior is their tenant essentially. I mean, you know, I could see, you know, Ravinia doing something similar to that. I don't know the whole, you know, logistics behind, you know, if they own it or not. But if they helped another brewery come in and kind of take over the space,
Right.
that'd
And
be cool. That'd be cool.
Maybe they stay brewing there because they need more space than what they're just doing up in Highland Park. It kind of makes more sense. It's just a better play.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Cheers to Ravinia guys. I like those guys, and they did a good job with the space. And you know, it sucks that they ran into. I think if I read it all correctly, their agreement with Ravinia was cool as long as they didn't open another location.
Oh, okay.
And when they opened the city location, that's when Ravinia, the festival, said, we got more money than you. Fuck you. We're insisting you change your name.
Interesting.
Yeah. If I read it correctly, I could be wrong, but
Okay.
I think that's what I read.
So you're gonna try to make it over there.
Yeah.
Revolution Tap Room on Milwaukee closes this weekend.
Yeah. Like after like a good 15-year run or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I wanted to go. I wanted to have the burger one more time. I wanted some bacon fat popcorn. Unless I go Saturday, for some reason, I'm just not gonna go. And the last day seems like the worst day to go.
It's a goddamn shame that they're closing. But it sounds like they're getting out of the restaurant business because they own the building. Mm-hmm. It just sounds like they just don't want to deal with being a restaurant.
I think coming back to like FoBAB, we were talking to the president of the guild. We were getting some barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
And he mentioned he's like, oh, the brewery game, it was like a nickels and dimes. You're making nickels and dimes pre-COVID, and now you're making pennies and nickels on everything. And
That's
I think
hard, man.
And so that comes back to like the food stuff where you need food to work. Mm-hmm. But having food also just increase the costs, and if it doesn't start to work, it just eats into the cost.
Yeah, food is your lowest profit item if you're a brewery.
You need food to get people to come to the brewery.
There's a lot of truth in that. Yeah. I did go to Pipeworks. Oh. I went to the dojo. So cheers to them. Oh, well, that was a similar conversation because I'm like, there's a rumor that you guys took over, Bishi. He's like, yeah, you should go. They got the really good brunch. I'm like, I've been, not for brunch. He's like, yeah, one of our brewers is going over there. He said one of their brewers is actually, he was one of their brewers. One of the old Peppers brewers is a brewer at the Guinness Brewery too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I said, there's a rumor that you guys were gonna buy the space next to Mitakoya. So this would have been like California and Diversey, basically, right? And they were like, yeah, we looked into it, but beer is one of these things where kind of like the movies where like people still watch movies, but they prefer to just watch it at home. Yeah. And order some food. Nobody's actually, less people are going to movie theaters. And brew pubs are the same way. We had this thought about opening this brew pub, but it's like, are people coming to brew pubs or would they just prefer to get their beer and go home? And that's what led them to not do it. So
that's fair enough. Cause I saw people, talking today about like the price of cocktails. And someone's like, yeah, I'm paying $15 for a high noon in West Loop. Yeah. It's like, why are you going out? You could get the case for $15.
This is always the conversation. It's like, yo, am I going to have another $12 fucking beer at this bar? Or am I just going to go home and make margaritas?
Right. Or in that case, like the high noon thing, why don't you slip in one in your pocket? And just, order one, and then drinking yours too.
They hope a lot of these places open them. So that's the only problem.
Yeah, but you just then you're done with yours, and then you're done with the one you bought, and you open your next one.
Oh, that's
just kind of like
that works.
Double down.
That checks out.
That's how you got to roll. I feel like.
Brad, I don't think we should be encouraging people with behaviors that would cause someone to lose their alcohol license, but
no, that's not on the place. That's on the people. People shouldn't be doing that. But I feel like growing up going to bars, we did a lot of that.
Yeah, we're at a tipping point for sure where, you can't just go to the bar. You can't just have bar service. Somebody's got to come out, and then you have to tip. Mm-hmm. And then B, prices are just really wild for some of this stuff, So it's like, yeah, it's like we said, people are more likely to stay home, or people are considering like, why do I even do this? That's how intense the pricing structure is.
Right, because even with bar service, you go up and order drinks for me and you. I'm going to get drinks. I got 2 drinks. Am I tipping $2 on this?
Back in the day?
Or am I just going to tip $1 maybe and be like, or maybe I'll be like,
back in the day, you do $1 a pour, but nowadays, you're supposed to do more. It fucking sounds ridiculous. Right. Not for the people who work there. Like, I want them to get theirs, but I'm like, man. But for me as a consumer, I'm like, fuck.
I'm not tipping no one at Just for brew yards.
Because you pour your own beer. Pour your own goddamn beer.
I'll come back there. I can do it. Anyway, off topic. We're Revolution, Ravinia,
Yeah.
Cruz Blanca, not
Yeah.
closing, but
They sold
sold to the man.
They sold their IP. They sold their IP to Miller Coors, which is a Chicago-based company right downtown. We interviewed Lisa Miller there.
Yeah.
Lisa Zimmer
Zimmer,
for Brewers Unleashed, her program down there. Yeah.
This makes no sense and lots of sense to me.
I mean, because we were talking about Leinenkugel, how they closed the Leinenkugel Chippewa Falls facility and didn't even tell Dick Leinenkugel that they were closing. So it sounded like they're getting out of craft, but then also getting back in craft.
Right. They needed a play for Hispanic Mexican drinkers.
Because of the tariffs, importing
No,
beers?
I think they just needed. That's definitely a growing audience, right? You're not getting that many like white, black kids drinking. Like they're already drinking. You're not convincing them to start drinking craft beer. They just drink craft beer, right? So you got Hispanic people who were probably drinking macro beer that are curious now, right?
I feel like, don't they own some macro brands, though, that are like Mexican lager as brands?
I guess.
I mean,
what,
I think. I don't know.
Who has Modelo? That's Heineken? Or no?
Constellation Brands, I think, has
Modelo.
or Corona. One, I fucking forget. There's Modelo and Corona. Those are the two big ones.
Right.
I don't think Miller
But
Coors
Corona is like white people, Mexican beer.
Yeah, Modelo is more like what the working class folks would probably drink.
Right.
Modelo is a top selling beer in Chicago.
Right. So that's the Bud Light, Miller Light
Yeah.
of Mexican, Hispanic people, right? So then how do you get them to go to something else? You got the...
And then why do you think Cruz Blanca is going to do that? Cruz Blanca, when the report came out, you know, all the think pieces and shit, they said Cruz Blanca is a West Loop brewery that's doing 500 barrels a year.
Right.
So no one knows. I mean, unless you're in Chicago and you drink beer all the time, nobody really fucking knows who Cruz Blanca is.
Exactly.
So why are you doing this? Are you going to fuck this up and close it in 2 years like you did fucking Leinenkugel? You know, Leinenkugel, you close it a little longer, but I mean, with like, why are you fucking with Cruz Blanca? I don't know.
I don't know, unless Cruz Blanca need the money after they, kicked Rick Bayless out.
Yeah, Bayless was out, and then I think the other investors were just looking for a payday, it sounds like.
So they might have been looking, they might have closed that.
Yeah.
Because I think on the pod over the summer, I was like, I tried to go to Cruz Blanca during the week on a Wednesday for lunch, and they were closed in the West Loop.
Yeah, it's weird as hell.
So...
West Loop is ground zero for restaurants in Chicago. It's probably the premier.
Right, and you're closed
neighborhood.
during the week for lunch?
You should never fucking close. It's West Loop.
Yeah, so that made no sense to me. So maybe they weren't doing that well.
They were
Then why Miller Coors bother?
Jacob, who used to work at Goose, and then he came over to Cruise. You know, he's got roots in Texas. I think he's from like Austin or somewhere.
Okay.
And then one of the guys who owns Cruz Blanca is also from Texas. So they actually tried to sell Cruz Blanca beer in Texas stores. You know, H-E-B is the grocery chain down there. They tried to sell it down there. They said, hey, we like your beer, but it's not made in Texas, so we can't fucking sell it. So then Cruz Blanca announced that they were doing a deal with Revolver Brewing, which is like a Texas brewery. I forget what city.
Okay.
But Revolver Brewing used to be owned by Miller Coors. So I feel like there's some synergy there. You know, it's weird that over the summer, Cruz Blanca announces, hey, we're selling beer in Texas, and that beer is going to be made at Revolver in Texas. And then 6 months later, oh, yeah, the Revolver guys had a relationship with Miller Coors. Oh, so by the way, we're selling our IP.
It must be selling very well down there.
Yeah.
And we don't know that.
Right.
That has to be the story.
That has to be like that's the precursor to how they end up selling their IP.
Right. It must be selling very well down there and must be selling to Hispanic people more so than it is here.
Well, I think, and then if you're in Texas, just the whole culture of being a Texan is like, flour tortillas and cowboy boots and like, spicy foods is kind of a universal thing down there. So they're probably selling beer to everybody.
Yeah.
For all we know. It could just be a wider audience for them down there. But yeah, they sold to Miller Coors. So we'll see how that works. But good for them, man. You know.
Yeah, that's fine. At this point, I expect the Chicago location to close.
If this doesn't go the way Miller Coors projected, it, yeah, how does that impact the Chicago?
But this is
location?
a restaurant now. Why does Miller Coors own a
Just
restaurant?
based on the report,
I feel like they should shut this restaurant down.
but based on the report, it sounds like they really just bought the IP so that they could have the brewing team ramp up recipes and sell them nationwide. So it doesn't really impact their on-premise thing. They can do whatever they want on premise.
Huh.
But that's how we always said. Because Goose, what did do? Goose initially just sold the production facility,
yeah.
and the pubs were left out of it.
Yeah.
Lagunitas initially just sold half of their brewery to Heineken. So these things kind of end up with whoever your big rich brother is.
Right.
They end up buying it and doing whatever the fuck they want.
Miller Coors would be like, wait, how much are you paying rent there in the West Loop? Or you own that? We can sell this building for this much? You're out of here.
Yeah.
And we'll just sell your beer elsewhere.
That's more than likely in the next 3 years. That's the conversation with Cruz Blanca. Yeah, sad but true. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, they're doing some cool stuff.
Right.
They were
And
doing
it goes
some-
back to your Pipeworks talk. If I'm going to drink Cruz Blanca beer, I probably just pick it up to drink it at home. I don't need to go there to drink it because
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want what's on tap. I want what's in cans. I want the palm shade or whatever.
Unless you're doing some really sexy stuff in bottles, which I've had nights like that at Cruz Blanca. Just sit at the bar and just rip on some old vintage bottles they got. I do like doing that at Cruz Blanca. Or some weird ass mezcal that they said was good.
Yeah.
It's a good scene. I appreciate them as a part of the local scene.
But the service sucks.
It's sometimes I went there and the fucking tortillas, the little fucking tortilla chips were stale, and I'm like, how you Cruz Blanca, you can't be fucking up the
I
tortilla.
haven't had bad service, but that's some of the worst service.
Your
Where
service
you're like
sucks.
watching the person like, are you going to take my order? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Just like take my order.
I feel like conceptually, they nailed it. I think on paper, it's an amazing project. In delivery, I think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with the execution of it all, for sure. I've been there a couple nights like that where I was like, what the fuck y'all doing? You know what? This just pissing me off.
The food comes out faster than your beer sometimes. That should never happen. Yeah. I don't even know how that happens. Like, what is
I don't know. So
shut it down.
Jesus Christ, Brad. I'm going to pour some more Christmas milk.
Get in the holiday spirit. Get in that holiday cheer.
Fucking Scrooge over here. Jesus Christ. Okay, Krampus.
What else we got? Anything else?
Yeah. Speaking of Krampus, Krampus won a medal at FoBAB for Old Irving, and they're pouring a 20% version.
Shit.
Krampus Market. Flannel Pajamas is coming back tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So that ought to be good. And then there was one other thing.
There was that one year we went to Flannel Pajamas, and I think we had multiple lineups of stuff. It was a good time.
Yeah. Coffee, beer, donuts, pizza. They're doing a blowout. Flannel Pajamas is pretty good.
Oh, that's Beguile, coffee, beer, pizza.
Yeah,
donuts.
they're inviting friends that make those things out to hang out with them.
Okay, so comfort night basically.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. Flannel pajamas, comfort, all that stuff.
So.
Damn. All right. I feel like there was one more thing.
We talked about Rev closing. We talked about Cruz Blanca selling. We talked about
Ravinia.
Ravinia closing.
Afterthought.
Yeah, Afterthought, man. Out in Lombard.
Okay.
Afterthought is like Wild Ales. You know what I saw? I'll get through the Afterthought thing. Yeah, Afterthought was like Wild Ales, Belgian Ales, kind of like a Belgian-inspired brewery out in like Lombard, and not a lot of foot traffic, but what they did was kind of like what Industry Ales does, where like Afterthought you can get like beers from around the world. The first 6 pages of their menu is beers from around the world. It's almost like a Belgian cafe. You get the beer, and they bring the proper glassware and all this kind of shit. It's like, and then their beers are like on page 7.
Okay.
So it's like
The Afterthought.
Yeah, literally. I can see it. I can see that this is problematic, right? Like, you're basically, it feels like Hop Leaf. You go to Hop Leaf, every time you order a beer, you get the cup from the brewery.
Yeah.
Even no matter how obscure the brewery is. So Afterthought was a lot like that. But when you go, it's like a lesson in, it's a lesson in Belgium when you go, because you can get so much cool shit there in the glassware. Bottle pours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, their last day of service is the 29th. They're
Damn.
closing.
Huh. Okay. That sucks.
Yeah. You
I've
know
never
what?
been. I've never been.
Yeah, I only went once.
I've only been the brewery I've been doing Lombard, Noon Whistle,
Yeah.
and then that might be it.
Yeah.
I forget who else is in Lombard.
Vine Pair came out with a list of the best new breweries of U.S. in 2024.
Okay. Any Illinois on
They,
there?
they broke it down by region.
Okay.
So there are 4 in
In the
Illinois.
Midwest. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got?
Iswas Brewing.
Oh, I feel like I either have recently heard someone talking about this or I had a dream, and people just love
have a
is
dream.
was even when we were talking to Steve Hamburg.
Well, that's his neighborhood brewery.
Right. Everyone loves is was, but no one really likes the beer. Everyone loves it. But they're like, I drink. Steve Hammer's like, I drink Goldfinger around there. And that's what
Goldfinger's.
everyone says. They love that it exists. And it's like, what was Urban Renewal doing wrong that they couldn't make it work? Because it isn't doing anything better. They have guest drafts, right?
This is just different. Yeah. Is it better? Probably not. It's just different. Casa Humilde, Cerveceria in Forest Park.
Okay, which you were,
Not a fan of their tacos.
Yeah.
I'm like, these tacos are too advanced for me. This is from a region in Mexico that I'm not familiar with. There's fucking pinto beans on these tacos. I'm like, yo, this ain't really what I came for. Industry Ales downtown and Suncatcher Brewing.
How is Suncatcher on that list? It opened like a week ago.
Suncatcher's been open for probably 3 weeks max. Yeah.
How much money did they pay to get on that list?
22 best new breweries to drop in your bucket list this coming year.
Okay.
Yeah. Lion Pair.
I thought this was future ones.
No, 2024. These are the best new breweries. These are the best new breweries in the U.S. in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any others nearby?
Nearby, down in St. Louis, Blue Jay Brewing. Blue Jay Brewing is an old, what's the name of that crew? It's not Boulevard. Boulevard's a big one. What's the second biggest
Schlafly.
one?
Schlafly's pretty big.
Schlafly is pretty big. He's a brewer from one of those big ass breweries.
Okay.
His name's Jay, so he started a brewery called Blue Jay Brewing. It's a very nice space. That's the only one I see. There's Garage Beer in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for the Midwest.
Suncatcher. Okay.
Suncatcher is like 15 days old.
Right.
That's wild as hell.
Okay, so then, we're like 15 days from the new year. Just as we wrap up here, as we continue to go too long. Anywhere you're trying to go before the end of the year. What didn't you make it to? And you got 15 days left.
I feel like I do. I feel like I hit city stuff a lot. I haven't been to Ravinia maybe since we went. So I'm excited about getting over there.
Are you gonna go to Maplewood too?
I mean, you may as well, right?
Sure.
Maplewood was selling $100 whiskey. It's probably like 2-3 years old.
Okay.
They shouldn't be doing that. But I am gonna go and see if they got what kind of stouts they got on. They do a good job of having sick hazies, adjunct stouts, and fun fruited sours.
Okay.
So just do the remaining
Local stuff.
the remaining Brewer Triangle spots.
Okay.
This is my last time to hit the Brewers Triangle.
That's true.
Whatever's left of it, the remnants.
Yeah, I don't know. I got 15 days. I didn't make it to Sturdy Shelter this year.
No.
Probably won't go out there. That seems a little bit far. I don't know if I went to Hop Leaf this year. Oh, wait, I did for Andersonville Fest. I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking.
I think the Glug slushy is superior to like the Glug.
Glug, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Simon's, they're incredibly homophobic people.
Oh, really?
They hate the gays.
Oh, man.
Hate them.
That's wild because it seems to be like very gay friendly over
Right.
there.
But they hate them.
Damn.
So, it's rough because the glug is tasty. I don't know what I would hit up. I feel like I've been all over this year.
Yeah. I might go to Double Clutch.
Okay, that's a good one.
See if they got the smoke beer on. They never have the smoke beer when I want it. I might go up there. And then you can get the whatever beer one at Sketchbook. Get the Belgian triple.
Mm-hmm.
Might do that. That'd be a good hang.
I don't think I went to Dovetail this year.
No, I think I went once over the summer. And they were kind of saying, like, similar to what, the Revolution guys were saying. They were like, man, if you like a brewery, make it your business to go support it. Because everybody's doing good, during peak hours. But the off-peak hours, I think across the board, like, numbers are down.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's kind of, we said it, or I said throughout the year, I said it since 312 Day last time, like, go to 312 Day. Go to these things because we're seeing a lot of places close. I think we see a few more. We see a handful more next year.
it's going to be hard to make it through the winter,
The winter, dry January is going to happen. And I think people are going to drier January than they did in the past. Just like the cost and the health stuff is just like hitting everyone even more. And I think it's going to be tough for everyone to like make it through. And
unless you live near a brewery, right? So like the closest brewery to me is Revolution, but that's still, just under a mile away.
okay.
So in the wintertime, I'm going to likely just go to whatever the nearest intersection is. And that's like all, different cuisines from all around the world and whatever bars are there.
Right.
And these are nights where you don't feel like cooking. But I'm not going to venture much further than that. I'm probably going to end up at a local bar, and I think a lot of people are probably just doing that. Or just fucking, Uber Eats or DoorDash and some fucking a 6-pack from Benny's and call it a day.
Right. The closest breweries to me, I got Burning Bush and Eris on both sides. One has food, one doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Eris. No matter how much their food is tasty, I can't get behind what they're like not brewing there.
Yeah, last time I went to Eris, they had all guest drafts because they parted ways with their head brewer.
Yeah, I think they need to look at what Monochrome is doing or some of these other places and just be like, you might be a brewery cidery, but like, don't focus on that because it's almost like hurting people from coming in here.
It's
like,
okay to be a bar, especially you're on the northwest side.
Right, you make great food. They make great food, especially vegetarian food. They make great vegetarian food.
I think they do really good with the vegetarian stuff. It's a nice location. Yeah. It's okay to just basically be a bar.
Yeah.
It's okay.
They're a restaurant at this point.
It's a bar restaurant that occasionally makes their own beer. That don't have to be the focus.
Yeah.
Look at Haymarket. You go to Haymarket downtown.
Which will close next year.
I would say if there's 12 beers on, I would say 8 of them are from Bridgman, Michigan. Even though Haymarket's got a 15-barrel system right there.
They're not using it.
They're not making the majority of their beers are not made there. They're essentially, the working man's bar. Mm-hmm. $5 pints, pizza.
There's no way that's $5 pints there.
No?
Anymore.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, so I'm in a time warp. I'm stuck in 2015.
Just telling you, there's $15 high noons in the West Loop.
God damn.
There's no way. It's at least
I'm holding out
$6 Angry Birds.
All right, $6. I'm holding out hope for 6. But you know what I mean. But yeah, but like they're not. The breweries are taking that approach. Look at Peace. When Peace was in transition between brewers, I went to Peace once, and there was an unusual amount of half-acre beers on. And I asked the lady, I'm like, is Half Acre buying this joint? Like, why are there like 5 Half-Acre beers on? It was super weird. But don't be afraid, if you're a brewery, man, don't be afraid to just have a bunch of guest drafts on and just become a neighborhood joint that has a fucking variety. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Like, look at Revolution here, closing, got a restaurant game. which is a great spot, which was a great restaurant over there. It's like Milwaukee is crazy now of weird chain federales kind of places, but we lose a kind of a neighborhood restaurant at that point to a bunch of clubby kind of bars. That kind of sucks.
It's sad. It's sad. At the same time, I wasn't going to Revolution getting brown
I
ales.
wasn't going there
No,
either.
I wasn't going.
Eugene Porter wasn't bringing me out.
You see, so we're part of the problem, but yeah, it's just sad all around.
So yeah, as you close out, as anyone listening close out the year, like go to places you like, cause yeah, I might not be there.
That's the fact.
So yeah. All right, on that Christmas cheer and
Fucking Scrooge McDuck over here. Jesus Christ.
trying to like get people to go out. You gotta like go out and do stuff. They'll do it. Great Lakes Christmas Ale, kind of a good way to ring in the holidays.
Yeah, good call on that. I haven't had this beer in years.
Yeah, out of our obscurity pottery. All right, take care.
Cheers.